Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our review of X-Men Days of Future Past. I, of course, am your host, Caleb, and I am here with my co-host, Cameron. Cameron, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Why has it taken us this long to review this movie?
I'm not sure.
We saw this movie opening weekend, and it's taken us 3 months to review it.
Uh,
And we just rebooted this channel like 3 weeks ago, so I'm surprised we really took a while with this.
we did. We did.
Okay, so X-Men Days of Future Past is the most recent film in the X-Men saga. We got Bryan Singer returned to his child, and basically, well, that's not the plot of the movie. But it should be, though. Technically, it is. Realistically, it is. The whole plot is the future is fucked for mutants. I mean, there is just genocide and dead bodies, and all the surviving mutants are all sad and shit because of the Sentinels, and Kitty Pryde has to send them back in time, and they die a lot, and they die multiple times, just multiple deaths for multiple people. So then basically the whole point is they're like, oh man, this is all because Bolivar Trask, got some Mystique's DNA so these Sentinels can adapt to us. We've got to send Wolverine back in time because Kitty Pryde has magical time traveling powers for some reason, which makes no sense. That's my only gripe about the movie. Why does Kitty Pryde have magical time travel powers?
Because she can't go back in time.
That's a good point.
In the comics, she goes back in time, but of course, in the movie, she can't. So that's the only realistic way to keep the movie connected to the comic book is if you have her being able to send them back in time.
She would be a tiny seaman if she went back in time.
She would be.
And then what's she gonna do? She can't save the world from her father's ball sack.
Or can she?
X-Men Days of Future Seaman. So, I thought that was way more funny than it was. So basically Wolverine goes back to his past body, and he's got to get Xavier, and he's got to get Magneto, and he's got to stop Mystique from assassinating Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyrion, you're a fighter, you. So basically, to stop Katniss from, killing Tyrion, they work together and shit. So Cameron, let's just delve in. Let's talk about how awesome this movie is, because it's fucking awesome. Cameron, what are some of the things you love the most about this movie? What are things you just loved? And we'll get into spoilers a little bit later, because it's still fairly new. I don't think we can talk about spoilers right off the bat.
I just love it because it's just solid all around. From start to finish, it's just a solid movie.
I would say the thing I like about this movie so much is just the way everyone mixed. Michael Fassbender was amazing in this movie. I think Michael Fassbender might be my favorite part of this movie.
No, depressed, drunk Xavier is the best
okay,
part.
Yes, depressed, drunk Xavier is, and the thing is, they explain everything. They explain why he can kind of walk, so I guess that kind of makes up for X-Men Origins, Wolverine, Xavier being able to walk. They explain everything. They explain why Beast can go from blue to white. They explain everything. It's so cool. Like, I really love that this movie basically is like, okay, yes, the continuity in the X-Men movies has kind of been shit because of so many different directors like Brett Fuckface and Matthew Vaughn getting their hands on it. So it's like, there's so, Xavier would be, there's so much stuff didn't make sense. But now, Bryan Singer has come back to his child, and he has made it all make sense. It's really awesome. Like, okay, this is impossible to not talk about spoilers. So let's talk about spoilers. So, non-spoiler review, this movie is fucking amazing. You should go see it. But let's get into spoiler talk now. And this is spoilers. So you have been warned. So Cameron, let's talk about spoilers.
Quicksilver is amazing.
Quicksilver is awesome in this movie. Like, I think Quicksilver is a close second. He's a third to Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy in this movie for me. See, here's the thing: is stills of that costume when this movie was first, when we first saw shots of this costume, I thought his costume looked horrible.
Yeah.
But then when you see it in motion, it makes sense because this is in the 70s.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd shirts and stupid goggles were in style. Well, Pink Floyd shirts are always in style, but you get what I mean. Yes, they are. A lot of people wear Pink Floyd stuff.
I don't understand why.
Pink Floyd's kind of cool. He had a good song. Or they had a good. They're they. Okay, that's probably horrible, but I'm terrible with some of my knowledge of classic music. But nonetheless, there's so much good in this movie. Like, for example, the little Easter eggs of Emma Frost and Azazel and Banshee and Angel Salvador being dead. Those were brilliant. And the thing is, too, is if you didn't notice it when Mystique was looking at them, Magneto says it, too.
Yeah.
And then I think we can all agree, isn't it amazing that they killed off Banshee?
No.
I hate Banshee.
Why?
I don't like him. I have never... Banshee will always be my least favorite X-Men, besides fucking Jubilee.
Really? I was about to say, you're going to...
Jubilee! Because you know, no one understands my hatred for Jubilee more than you, or knows about it. Because I bitch about Jubilee all the time.
Because she's stupid.
Jubilee is so fucking... She's like a isn't she a vampire or something now?
Yeah, she lost her powers or something, and she's all depressed.
Oh, that's awesome. You gotta love Scarlet Witch. Oh, House of Venom. But nonetheless, I mean, and Jubilee was supposed to be in this movie as well at one point. But they replaced her with Blink, and that is amazing. Blink is so much cooler. And we have comic book news for Blink, surprisingly, on the Comics Podcast this week.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Fan Ding Bing. That is her name. That's the actress's name. So Blink was awesome in this movie.
Yes,
she
Blink
looked
was awesome. Blink was really awesome.
As a person who doesn't like Blink that much, they made her so well and had some of the coolest scenes.
Why the hate on Blink?
I'm not hating on her. She's just not my favorite character.
Hate for female X-Men?
Jean Grey is my favorite female comic book character of all time.
Well, that's a lot of people's.
Jean Grey, Emma Frost. There are lots of female X-Men I like.
Why don't you like Jubilee? She's pretty awesome.
She's stupid. I hate Jubilee. This should be why aren't we should, you know what? We'll argue about Jubilee on the Comics Podcast. How does that sound?
We will.
Yeah, because there's no point in arguing about her in a movie she's not in. She had a cameo in X2 in a deleted scene.
Good, it's deleted. It should be.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so you don't
store it away.
You don't like Jubilee either.
No, I don't.
She's stupid.
No one should. Okay, I want to say one more thing, and then we can talk about the movie. A lot of people want her in a solo movie, and I don't understand.
Absolutely not. No, thank you. So another thing about this movie was we got Storm had like 2 lines in this movie.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of Storm, but Halle Berry being Storm annoys me to no end.
Wouldn't you rather see her as Storm than Catwoman, though?
True.
At this point, we've only seen one good Catwoman on screen.
And that's Anne Hathaway.
We should stop talking about DC. This is a Marvel review. And people are going to call us stupid DC fanboys. The Sentinels in this movie. I loved because they could have easily gone with, we kind of got them teased in The Last Stand to a degree.
Yeah.
But these were Sentinels. Like, these Sentinels, the future Sentinels were badass. And they were killing motherfuckers left and right.
I want them to have the shitty look that they had in, like, the cartoon and the comics. I want those Sentinel looks back.
Do you really want those, though?
I want them. I really do. That's my only complaint about this movie, is I want that look back.
I want them made entirely of Legos.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah, Lego Sentinels that will make Magneto can't control them.
Yeah.
So Peter Dinklage was in this movie.
Amazing.
He was Bolivar Trask. And notice, no one gave a shit about him being a midget in this movie because no one gives a fuck about Bolivar Trask.
Why the hate?
I'm not hating on Bolivar Trask. I'm just saying making him a midget is absolutely a non-issue because no one cares.
Yeah.
But Peter Dinklage is one of the best actors going today. If you don't watch Game of Thrones, you should. It's awesome. I understand it's not for everybody, but I love that show so much. And Peter Dinklage is amazing on that show. And I thought he was amazing as Bolivar Trask. And I'm kind of shocked they didn't kill him off.
Really?
A little bit. I thought Mystique was going to go ahead and kill him anyway, even though they wouldn't get her DNA. But it seems like they want to go with anti-hero Mystique. But I feel like... Here's the thing, though. I feel like she's eventually going to circle back to Magneto.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think she's going to circle back to Magneto.
I don't know.
Man, you can't... The bitches can't stay away from that Fassbender dick. That is the most sexist thing I will ever say. She wants Fassbender.
More sexist things. We've said more.
Yeah, but we're not sexist people.
We aren't.
No, I love Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. I would just like to say that. I love Mystique. Mystique is amazing. I love Jennifer Lawrence. I think Jennifer Lawrence... Okay, here's the thing. I think Rebecca Romijn was better at being Mystique as far as being all sexual and shit when she's fighting.
Yeah.
But I think Jennifer Lawrence is clearly a better actor. or actress, depending on how you want to say it. And I think Jennifer Lawrence, I think this is the best role in a film series Jennifer Lawrence has going for her right now.
Yeah.
And I know exactly the other film series, and I'm not going to talk about that film series.
We won't.
We won't. I did reference it earlier, though.
You did.
But, so, old Magneto kind of dies, but it doesn't matter in the end?
It doesn't.
Everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
Everyone dies in this, but Colossus dies multiple times.
Which is so sad, because Colossus is awesome.
Poor Colossus. I will say this, one of my biggest issues with this film series is they kind of don't care about Colossus.
They don't, and I don't understand.
Like, in X-Men, in the first X-Men movie, he has a cameo where he's painting. In the second X-Men movie, he's like, they said Colossus was in it, but he kind of just stood there. And in X-Men 3,
he saved, like, a lot of children?
He saves a lot of children while standing there. And then in X-Men 3, he's only there to throw Wolverine. He's only there to throw Wolverine at the end. And then Magneto can be like, oh, not too fast, dickhead. I will say this. One of my favorite scenes in this movie was, in fact, Magneto and not Wolverine, not even Magneto, Xavier and Xavier face-to-face.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
The thing is, I love about this is Xavier was so... Here's the thing I like about this is this. No matter... Patrick Stewart will always be Professor Xavier to me.
Yeah, same.
But I think James McAvoy is more like Xavier in the comics. Because in the comics, Xavier's kind of a sociopath. Yeah, like... And it's because if you think about it, the thing with that is that Xavier is kind of like... He likes to... he puts his X-Men in harm's way. Who does that sound... And he's not really as much of a father figure. Who does that sound more like in these movies? James McAvoy or Patrick Stewart?
McAvoy.
Exactly. Patrick Stewart, like I said, he will always be Xavier to me. He is Professor Xavier when I think of him. But James McAvoy acts like him in the comics.
Xavier is a dick. Let's just say that right now. He's a dick.
Xavier is a dick. I love him though. We can love dicks. Wait.
Whoa.
That is not what I meant. We can like dickish characters. There's nothing wrong with liking dicks, but never mind. No, I'm just saying Xavier's a dick and we love him, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. God, this movie is so filled with stuff. How do we even get to it all? Okay, so Magneto is totally Quicksilver's father.
Yeah.
In this universe, I think that might be my favorite line in the movie because Cameron, I'm a big fan of the Magneto family.
Both of us are.
Magneto is my favorite comic book character of all time.
Yeah.
And there's that one line where he's like, so you can control metal, right? That's weird. My mom knew a guy like that. Yes! And then, like I said, the possible Scarlet Witch Polaris cameo we got.
Oh my god, right?
And then the Brotherhood got teased. Because I guarantee you Havoc is joining the Brotherhood in the next movie.
Havoc is stupid and shouldn't be in any movie.
Havoc is not stupid. What are you talking about?
I don't like Havoc.
Now, oh my god, what is their third brother's name? He's the dumb one. I don't like him. What's his fucking name? Gabriel Summers? He's horrible. I hate him. But, oh my god, Havoc's great, man. I love Havoc.
Yeah.
I think him and Cyclops are both pretty... Well, Cyclops is great when he's depressed. But going into it even more is I think they're really setting up to where young Cyclops will be in this next movie. Wouldn't it be cool if I played Cyclops?
We've talked about this multiple times.
We talk about this all the time. Even though Cyclops is kind of... I have a love-hate relationship with Cyclops. But I would love to play Cyclops. That would be so cool. I just want to bang Famke Janssen.
Don't we all?
Yeah, we all
do. 50.
I don't give a fuck. Is she 50?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I don't give a fuck, man. She's so hot. Speaking of Famke Janssen, I guess that... Okay, but basically, before I get to Famke Janssen, so you really... In X-Men Apocalypse, the Brotherhood's probably going to be like Magneto, Toad, Quicksilver, possibly little baby Scarlet Witch, or little baby Polaris. All of the kind of shitty mutants we saw with Havoc. And then those were some of the shittiest mutants.
Let's just return the Chinese mutants from X3.
Oh my god, you mean the Morlocks?
Yeah, let's just return those generic mutant number 2 and.
Oh my god, generic mutant number 2. So, that's an inside joke we need to put in more videos of X-Men.
We do.
So Famke Janssen, so Jean and Scott are alive.
Yes.
That is amazing. And I remember you telling me that you gasped in the theater.
I did. I did the biggest gasp. I know some people were like, "What is wrong with this idiot?"
It's Jean fucking Grey. And then we've always got that whole scene where he puts his hand up to her face and then Scott puts it down and he's like, some things never change.
Which is amazing.
And then we have that cool scene where, then let's not forget, Rogue was only in this movie for 5 seconds.
Are you trying to make me cry?
No, shh. I'm just saying, Rogue was only in this movie for 5 seconds and she's still boning Iceman.
Iceman gets all the women.
Iceman gets all the women. They love that icicle, man. And by icicle, I do not mean the kind of stupid DC character I have a love-hate relationship with that me and Cameron talk about a lot. I'm talking about Iceman's penis, which we can only assume is an icicle. I miss when Iceman was like a snowman back in the day, don't you?
No.
You should. He should have been Snowman. Bobby the Snowman. He got all the pussy. I have no other lyrics to that song, but I'll write it.
Okay.
I'll write it and it'll get 1 million hits. This review is basically just us talking. That's the thing I love about it. This is basically the night we both saw Days of Future Past. This was just a conversation we had, basically.
Yeah. This is like a conversation we have every other day.
Yeah, we talked about Days of Future Past so much, like a week after we saw it.
Yes.
Oh my god. One thing is, this movie has so much in it, I'm trying to get to everything as well. Oh my god, what else is there to get to? We still have the post-credits scene and shit. And then let's not forget what the ending of this movie implies before we get to the amazing post-credit scene that I was just... yes. But here's the thing. The ending of this movie, we see Wolverine getting on a boat. He's like, last thing I remember is drowning. And then you see him on a boat, and you look over, you see William Stryker. You're like, oh, that's how this is going to end. He's going to get into Weapon X. He's like, I'll take it from here. Turns around, and you see the Mystique eyes. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're getting Bone Claws?
I don't think so.
So what do you think is going to happen? Look, first of all, what does Mystique saving Wolverine mean?
In Wolverine and the X-Men, they kind of covered this storyline.
That's a good point. Yeah!
They just covered the storyline.
That's a good point. They really did. So what do you think? Do you think that Mystique and Wolverine are going to, like, date or something?
Yes. Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. And then, so do you think that some shit's going to happen between Days of Future Past and Apocalypse where he gets metal claws?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I would like that. But here's the thing is, I don't think they'll have him go through an entire movie series with bone claws. He's Wolverine. This is the closest we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, though, didn't he lose his metal claws in the Wolverine? How does he have them back in Days of Future Past anyway?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, the whole point of this movie was to fix the continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, okay, so basically, he's probably going to get metal claws, and Mystique has them now. And then we also have the big thing where you realize, technically, the only canon X-Men movies are First Class and Days of Future Past now.
Yeah.
But I would say
I'm
this,
not mad about that.
I'm not either. My thing is this, if you were to watch all of the X-Men movies in order, I would say you still go X-Men, X2, Last Stand, Wolverine, and then First Class and Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And then one thing, though, I do like is originally they weren't going to go through with the whole, they were just going to have one more old school movie, then they were going to go to the current times, but they're not doing that. It's just, they're going to completely fix X-Men.
Which I'm so happy about.
So we have X-Men Apocalypse in 2016. Our post-credit scene is a young Insaba Nur, known as Apocalypse, for people who for some fucking reason don't know. And he's, all young and gray and shit, and he's, like, controlling the rock pyramids and stuff. There's no other type of pyramid. But he's like making the pyramids, and they're all chanting "In Sabah Nur, In Sabah Nur," and in the background, which I did not notice this when I was seeing the movie until I saw it online later, was in the background you see 4 people on horses.
You didn't notice that?
You didn't know that? I didn't notice.
No, I didn't know that
until later that day when I read about it.
I see.
But here's the thing, though, is no matter what, if that was a reference or if the 4 horsemen are just going to be kind of characters, if they're going to be characters we know, or we're going to see Gambit with white hair, is Channing Tatum going to go gray?
I don't think they're going to have Gambit starting out as a bad guy.
That would be a terrible idea. Even though I do love Gambit as a Horseman of Apocalypse.
We all do.
Oh, so cool. So fucking badass. I love Gambit. He's awesome.
You know my strong and deep connection with Gambit.
You love Gambit so much.
Yes.
You got that Cajun connection.
Yes. Yeah.
If you were a tag team, you and Gambit would be the Cajun connection.
Perfect name.
It's awesome. That's actually a really good tag team name.
It is.
That's
what it's called. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
That would be perfect. But nonetheless, wrestling talk aside.
Yeah.
So, X-Men Days of Future Past. I hope I haven't missed anything to talk about. Oh, okay. Bishop had a very small role in this movie for some reason. What's your issue with Bishop?
I don't have an issue with Bishop.
Was that a moan that he had a small role, or a moan like, oh,
that
Bishop?
Was a small role.
Okay. Bishop is so bad. It's like I wish he had been made a more important part.
Yeah, same.
I think that's the big issue. So going into the ratings and everything, or our rating for it. So X-Men Days of Future Past, to me, I have not seen Guardians yet. You have.
I have.
I'm seeing it this weekend. We were gonna review it today, but unfortunately, there were some side tracks, so I'm gonna see it Saturday. I give X-Men Days of Future Past. I will say I have not seen Guardians, but it is my favorite. It is my favorite Marvel movie, and I give it a 10 out of 10.
I give it a 10 out of 10 too.
And isn't it your second favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah.
This was an amazing year for Marvel.
It really was.
Winter Soldier was a huge success and was amazing. Days of Future Past was amazing. Guardians of the Galaxy looks amazing, and it has tremendous success. And did you know it's the biggest August opening of all time?
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's amazing. And then, no matter how much people want to shit on it, I liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought it was a good movie. I liked it.
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge.
But you know everything that happens.
I do.
You were that's what happened with me in the first one, but I still love that movie too. There hasn't been. I just bit my. I just chomped down really hard accidentally when I was saying that. There hasn't been a Spider-Man movie I've hated besides Spider-Man 3. But to some people, there have only been 2 good Spider-Man movies, unfortunately. So anyway, X-Men Days of Future Past is amazing. Y'all should. It's awesome. It's like the best X-Men movie to me. It's the best Marvel movie. Definitely the best Marvel movie they don't own the rights to.
Yeah.
Easily. So feel free to hit the like button, favorite, subscribe. Put what you thought about Days of Future Past in the comment section. Did you think it was amazing? Did you think it was a horrible piece of shit for some reason? Were you confused by it? Did you get it? What do you think? Do you think we're stupid for loving it? Do you think we're awesome for loving it? Do you think I'm an asshole for hating Jubilee that is somehow sexist? Just put down in the comment section, whatever the fuck you want. Put whatever you want in the comment section. I'm not going to get rid of it unless it's too bad. And then, just feel free to do all of that. I'm Caleb.
I'm Cameron.
That is Cameron. I tried to say that's Cameron while you said that.
Well, that's not how we usually do it. You say I'm
Caleb. The reason I was confused was because whenever I say I'm not going to get rid of the comment thing, you usually say something after that.
Well, I thought I was going to let you have your moment in the sun.
But then there was that 2-second awkward pause.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know if your connection fucked up for a second.
I see.
Anyway, again, I'm Caleb.
I'm Cameron.
And we are